The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown. Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
It's a Thursday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody. We've got the full cast and crew ready to rock for you today with Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. Today is our Cowboys offensive preview going up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. We've got some QB vision on the horizon. We've got our QB back in the room. What's going on, Zay?
It's good to see you guys in the flesh.
Zeus from
Zeus.
L.A.
That's right, Zeus from L.A. You guys never know where I'm going to be. You never know when I'm going to pop up, boys.
Sometimes you got to pop out.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show them. You know what I mean?
Did you just hit the whip?
Oh, you never know what I'm trying to tell you. You never know what I'm going to come with here, Kyle. It's vintage Kyle.
I know. I walked in this morning and Isaiah's like, "Oh, you're changing the hair back up." I was like, "I just didn't put any
Bro,
the
this
product
is
up there."
2022 Kyle. Right?
No, earlier than that.
You look younger.
Earlier.
You definitely look much younger.
Just
without
because
the product.
without the product.
Yeah, you look.
This is the first time I feel like I've been on.
It's like there's no shave
Yeah.
November.
You look like you ate cold pizza this morning in your dorm room. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe I did.
Yeah,
Maybe I did.
cup of ramen.
The thermos with the handle on the side.
The funny thing is
By
like
the fire.
you look like you're late for calculus, bud.
yeah. Tonight I'm calling so North Texas men's and women's basketball both play at home tonight. So they've got like
Nice.
a rare doubleheader.
Yeah.
And they're giving out pizza to like the student section, free pizza. But like as a full-grown adult yesterday, seeing that announcement where they were like full-grown pizza, I was like, wait, do I get any as a
Oh, my
broadcaster?
goodness.
I was like, wait, they've got media food. I don't need free
funny.
pizza from the student section.
Vintage
But
Kyle wants
still
pizza.
there.
You look like a dude that's like
Still
into
there.
free pizza, and you're wearing.
Damn right I am.
I'd be
But
surprised if you weren't
It's the
wearing flip
balance.
flops right now.
It's the balance for me, right? So without the product, he's younger up top, but with the beard, so it's like
Bro,
party
yeah,
up top,
this
business
is-
down low.
Yeah,
Vintage
Yeah.
Kyle, VK.
it's
he
it's a
might-
modern mullet.
VKY.
He's a student up top, but he's the professor now. Like, yeah,
Damn right. The
We need to do the evolution of Kyle Beamer. We need to have like the pictures.
Oh, I've seen images.
Beam's seen me at my lowest too. Beam saw me when I was on my way back from West Virginia, and I was doing minor league baseball, and I had just gotten off of a 140 game season, and oof, yeah, that was
How many
that was
games
rough.
do you think that you've called?
Over
It's all sports.
at least 1,500.
Whoa,
Yeah, at least.
this guy's got the reps.
Yeah.
I like it.
Right. Yeah.
1,500, and I've only been doing it since 2016 in terms of play-by-play. So, yeah, it's quite a bit.
It's gonna be out
Trying.
up there. Watch out, Michaels.
I called 211 events last year.
Watch out, Al Michaels. Kyle Youmans is
There you
coming
go.
for you.
There you go.
Vintage
News
Kyle.
and notes.
That
Patrik
guy.
Walker. We got an update. Not a great one.
We do.
Not a great one on Dak Prescott.
Yeah, we'll end on that with the news and notes,
Okay,
so we
we're
can
gonna end
segue
on
into a discussion.
Okay.
Don't start out negative, Kyle. Jeez.
Well,
what this
we're
show's
going
all
right into
about.
the injury report. So there's
There's no positives?
that. Yeah, there's positives.
Let's go. Let's start with
There's
it.
positives. Yeah.
Micah's back.
Yeah.
Mike,
There you go.
Micah is back.
Figured that was going to be the case. He
That's
was not
pretty-
going to play
pretty
Philadelphia.
big.
He was not going to not play.
Pretty big deal. So Michael was a limited participant, but nonetheless back at practice for the first time since suffering his high ankle sprain several weeks ago. He's missed several games at this point. But yesterday, in the open portion of practice, not that we were able to see much there, but I was checking for his movement and his range of motion as he was, doing the chords with trainer Britt Brown and kind of looking at his facial expression. I wanted to see if there was going to be any grimacing. Was there any favoring? Was he laboring at all? Looks very good. He's moving very well. I wonder what he looks like in team drills, but he did say after practice that he's trying to go full go to test it. He said that he'll see how he feels again today, but felt good yesterday, and now it's just a matter of getting those reps because, in his words, he said he feels like he's starting over because he's been out for such a period of time. But as far as physically, he said there are no limitations on him right now. He's just, working to get the reps in, working to be cleared for Sunday. Then he started talking as if he will be on the field on Sunday because he started speaking about the matchup against his former Penn State mentor, Saquon Barkley. So that's going to be something to watch. So there's your really good news is that Micah Parsons is trending towards coming back.
Let's go.
Now, hope you have fun with that. DaRon Bland is still not practicing. He did not participate. Was expected that he would not participate, but
safe to say it was a significant setback. Huh?
Yeah, and the question posed to Mike McCarthy yesterday was, in the walk-off after the press conference, was it a significant setback? And he downplayed it and said it wasn't necessarily significant. It's just a matter of they thought that he would be ready, and he's just not healing at the rate that they thought he would. The word that McCarthy said was he's still having symptoms from it. And until he's no longer having symptoms, he will not be cleared to return to practice again, let alone take the field.
You ever seen Anchorman?
Come on.
I mean, it's one of the best comedy movies about our industry.
Could quote the whole thing.
The one part of Anchorman where he's got the pen in his hand, he just goes, I don't believe you. That's me to Mike McCarthy right now. I don't believe you.
And then he looked at it, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. I think it was significant. There's no way you go limited in practice.
I agree with you.
Then DNP out for the game, and then you have not seen the practice field in 3 weeks.
I agree with you.
After starting the 21-day practice window, he immediately went into practice.
Full practices.
And then DNP'd from that point forward.
How many weeks?
I don't believe you.
How many weeks?
Well, listen.
I mean, that was going into the Detroit game.
And
smell that?
What's that?
I smell a setback. That's what it was.
I
thought you were going somewhere else with that. I thought you were going with some fertilizer for that. Right.
I was like, wow, we're really hitting this thing hard.
Great high five.
I do agree. I think the setback was significant. No one around the building is admitting to that, but the timeline is the timeline. The math is the math, and the fact is this was a stress fracture, not anything that should have been devastating, but it was a stress fracture that occurred and was surgically repaired just ahead of the season, so that would have been late August. We are now having this conversation approaching mid-November, and he's still not at practice after having practiced twice and then being pulled from practice entirely. So something went wrong.
Something's amiss.
So we'll see from that. As far as the injury report, the remainder of the injury report goes, Tyler Guyton was limited. He had suffered a little bit of a neck issue against the Falcons, but returned to the game and he played it out. I spoke with Guyton yesterday. He should be completely fine for this week's game. CeeDee Lamb limited with that shoulder as expected per Mike McCarthy that he would be limited. Eric Kendricks was listed with a shoulder. He did not participate, but he was not going to participate in yesterday's practice anyway because that's a veteran day for both he and Zach Martin. But because they received treatment, that has to be logged with the NFL. So Eric Kendricks and Zach Martin both listed with shoulder issues, DNP. But again, even if they were completely healthy, they would not have practiced on yesterday. So no concern there really. Wanye Thomas, he is not looking good for this Sunday with that concussion. He is in the protocol. It doesn't sound like he's going to clear in order to take the field. And Nick Vigil continues to deal with that foot issue. Yeah. And now, Dak Prescott. All right, so, peeking over at the Eagles real quick, Devontae Smith didn't practice with a hamstring injury. So keep an eye on that. And Nolan Smith didn't participate with a groin injury. So 2 starters for the Eagles are less than healthy. So keep an eye on that. But so Dak Prescott, yesterday morning, a source told me that, and this is the wording from the source, that Dak Prescott, quote unquote, popped a hamstring.
Does not sound good, Bob.
So my question to that was, the statement, my reply was, it's interesting you say popped and not pulled. He was like, popped.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Fast forward a little bit. From that, it was confirmed by multiple reports, lead being Jane Slater of NFL Network. Shouts out to Jane. So I'm going to read exactly from Jane because I don't want to misquote. All right, so let me pull Jane's up right now. Dak Prescott has reportedly suffered. Where are you at? Okay. Reportedly suffered a partial avulsion of his hamstring tendon, which is partially torn off of the bone. per reports, and that includes Jane and some others such as Calvin, Clarence. And again, this is confirming what the source told me with the verbiage of popped.
Yeah.
Right. I'm told it typically takes more than 4 weeks. Absolutely, it would. And in some cases, it may scar over. Now, I'm going to move away from that. In some cases, this partial tear may scar over. The issue is they're still trying to figure out if it's a partial or a full.
Full, yeah.
If it's a partial tear, they may just rest him, see if it heals on its own, and then see how it goes. I'm with you on that. If it's a full tear, it requires surgery. Season is over.
The full tear I saw, even with surgery, the best case scenario was 6 weeks. Best case. And that's not what you're going to do with a franchise quarterback. You're not going to rush him back.
Because how many games do you have left?
Absolutely not that.
9.
You've
you
got 9
regular
left.
season games left.
No.
You're not going to rush him back from
all right.
that surgery. It's 6 games, and then it takes another 2 or 3 to even work way back the season. So again, I state,
Yeah.
if it requires
That's
surgery
with
to
surgery.
repair, Dak Prescott's season is likely over.
Yeah.
And as such,
Well, why do you look? Why do you
was
look
the
like
word was the word quit on there at all?
oh no, the word quit was not on there.
Not listed as quit.
So
Okay.
for
all right, James Jones.
for those such as James Jones,
He's in a little bit of hot water. I think
As he should be.
even with his own
That's what happens when
people
you're
too.
on platforms
His own
that make
people.
you do hot takes.
That's crazy that you're in hot water at FS1.
It's
You know,
even
because
worse
they've
when
said
you
some
know
really
better.
They've said some
horrific
you've done
things.
things.
played the
yeah.
game at that level.
Get
and you-
drawn into the environment that you're in. That's what it is, dude. Unfortunately, some of
He's
media
new to this
now,
media game too.
It's
He
not even
doesn't
just
have
being
any
new.
experience.
It's even some of the experienced guys get drawn in.
Yep.
I'm trying to
It's
hear
just
that, man.
you got to stay true to
No,
the
it was
game.
bad. No, I'm not trying to
It's
make
horrendous.
give an excuse to the guy. I'm just saying he made a dumb statement, then he doubled down on it, and then he tried to backtrack it yesterday when that news came out.
My fault.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, well, then if you don't know anything, don't talk about it. I mean, that's
Granted, this is
Plain and
before the diagnosis came out. This is before all of the reports on exactly what the injury
Yes.
was. But he did say, "Oh, Dak Prescott quit on this team."
Right.
Yeah.
So,
BS.
So
that's a bad look, regardless. No matter what player it is,
there's no way.
under any circumstance,
no
you
way
don't know
for
what
him to spin.
And as a player, as a former player, to say
Correct.
that it's pretty egregious, man.
For a former player to say it, and when you look at the character of Dak Prescott, now I said this.
Yeah,
I said
what
this
is
every-
ever
right,
said?
I said this. We can talk about Dak Prescott's poor quarterback play in 2024 all the live long day. We have done it on this show.
Yep.
Absolutely. Week in, week out, we've
And not shied
criticized
away
the
from it.
decision making, the interceptions, the lack of willingness to take off and run with the
Attacking
ball.
character is a
all
whole
of the
other
things.
thing.
But character?
Yeah, that's a whole other deal.
not with that.
Not with that guy. I mean, come on. This is a guy, and let's be real. This is a guy who continued to play football after his mother passed of cancer in order to honor her. This is a guy who continued to play football, didn't miss a game when his brother Jace died of suicide because he wanted to honor him and show mental fortitude and strength and be a leader for the team. So this is a guy who tried to snap his ankle back into place against the Giants so that he could try to play through it. And you mean to tell me that you're going to say this guy quit? This guy quit? Come on, man. Maybe you should quit. How about that? How
Well
about
said.
that?
I don't want to give any extra pub to him or that show or anything.
I've
in
already
between
said what I
because
said to him on Twitter. Check out the Twitter.
It,
Say what I said.
it was a bad take, and it shouldn't have gone anywhere close to what it ended
So
up
yeah,
being.
unfortunately, and this also goes to, and this is why one of the things that kind of set me off about it was because for those of us who travel with the team, I stood there and I watched players board the plane after the flight. I watched CeeDee Lamb need help from Trayvon Diggs to get his bags into the overhead bin. I watched Dak Prescott limping from the bus while holding his upper hamstring, kind of hobbling up the stairs, going back and forth between the aisle or up and down the aisle to talk to some trainers and talk to CD and whatnot. The whole time, you would have thought his leg was made of wood, the way he was dragging that thing around. And then not hours later, you see, whether it been James Jones or anyone, have the audacity to be like, the guy's quitting. Like, the guy's barely walking. And then you add the character aspect to it. So, again, we could talk about his poor football
Don't
play
give that any attention
all day long.
Yeah,
but
don't give it any attention.
but stop
Listen,
that.
people, are you still going on the injury report? We still got more?
No, that was
No,
the last one.
yeah, we ended with that.
So hamstrings suck. Hamstrings suck. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
And
I know you had an AC joint injury, which is
I've had
what
joint
CD's
sprain.
dealing
And
with.
he'll be fine. CD, if that's what he's dealing with, then he'll be fine. You
okay.
can play with it. It hurts like all get out, but you can play with it.
Okay, that's good.
Hamstring?
Did you ever pop a hamstring?
Pop. I have
POP.
come very close to popping a hamstring. I've had a grade 3 hamstring strain, which took about dang near 2 months to get back from with daily treatment.
That's why you were shaking your head.
And that's grade 3. So, and that's when I was running track, and I felt that thing about to pop. Right. So you're stretching it all the way to the limit, like a rubber band, right? And you just let that thing come back. Push it. To the limit. That took a couple months of treatment every single day.
I think anybody at home listening that's either felt a hamstring pull or felt anything like that, it's just like grimace.
Were you playing quarterback at the highest level possible at the time? You know what I mean?
Dude, so I had to come back. It's
pretty important.
I actually had tryouts. That's when Coach Willingham had just came into the University of Washington, and I pulled my hamstring, and the next week was practice. Spring practice was coming around, and that's when tryouts were happening, right? That's when you were going out to compete for your position. So I was literally out there on one leg, literally on one leg. So I say all that to say that whenever I speak in regards to injuries, I speak up in regards to my experiences. Yeah. Okay, I'm never going to tell a man what he can and can't do. I'm never going to put a timeline on any individual. Everybody's their own person. Okay, and situations change based upon pain tolerance, all that jazz, right? I am not very optimistic that Dak's going to play anymore this year.
Nor am I.
That's me.
That's also me.
That's my personal opinion. I am not optimistic, especially the way that the season is trending. If you lose this game against the Philadelphia Eagles, it's time to have a real conversation about guys that are dealing with things and are playing through things, because most guys are. There's just different levels of injuries, right? There's hurt and there's injuries, right? And there's a big difference between that. I teach that to my kids. Are you hurt or are you injured, right? I called my son out last week because he pulled himself out the game. He's like, well, this was hurt. And I'm like, you're not injured, though, because you came back in, right? When you're pulled out because you can no longer go, that's an injury. And I hate to see what's happening with this team, especially with the injuries that they have sustained. You're talking about a team that's used to having multiple Pro Bowlers, and this year you may have one. Maybe
one lock for sure. His name's Brandon Aubrey.
Okay, yeah. And the others is kind of up for debate.
The only other player I would even throw into that conversation would be either CD or Jordan Lewis. I think Jay Lew's played at a Pro Bowl.
Jay Lew's played well, but we know how that's go. They're not going to get it.
He doesn't have the name for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know what I mean? And a lot of this is because of injuries, right? So all your Pro Bowlers,
once he comes back,
all your Pro Bowlers, I mean, but he has to do it in 9 games.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean.
But equally a popularity contest.
I know it's a popularity
contest. Mike is going to get it.
But injuries suck. And again, I pray for Dak and I pray for his recovery. And I know he's seeking the best care, has access to the best care. It's amazing. It's a great thing when you have resources and access to get the best care possible. And that's why people are like, well, why haven't they made a decision? Why? He's seeking out all resources
because he hasn't quit.
Because he hasn't quit. But the reality is, as an organization, there's a point where you come to the top of the mountain. It's like, okay, what is a realistic expectation of this team?
Does that change at all for you if this game ends up in a W?
Absolutely it does. Okay. Absolutely it does.
I'm glad
if you go and win it.
If you
win this game.
If you win this game, now you're in a situation like, okay, we have a fighting chance.
Yes,
like we can legit fight.
Yeah,
we can legit fight our way and still sneak into the playoffs, right? Like that's what you're trying. You just need to get in.
And you would have newfound faith in your offense and Cooper Rush
and help is on the way.
Yes.
Right? Help is on the way. Micah's on the way. DB hopefully is on the way. D Laws hopefully help is on the way.
Yeah.
But if you lose,
you're 3-6.
You look at that help and you say, you know what? Chill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chill, because we're just gonna take the L this year. Let's make sure we're good for next year.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. You don't have to like that as fans hearing that, but those are the business decisions that have to be made with any organization. That just happens to be the conversations that are being most likely going to be had with the Dallas Cowboys after the result of this game.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more on that, specifically about the Cowboys offense, because without Dak Prescott, it's going to be different. Is different necessarily a bad thing?
No, I
want to talk about that a little bit. When we come back, it's QB Vision time this week on Talkin Cowboys.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877. Scan that Quaker code. Do it right now. Scan it. Scan it.
Oats on the internet.
Scan it. Buy your oats on the internet.
Sick.
Love it.
I miss you guys, man.
I know. It felt too long.
Samesies.
No.
Yeah, Monday through Wednesday, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
If we're getting you for at least more than half the week, if we're getting 3 out of 5 shows, I'm in it. But I'm going to have a talk with your NFL Network.
Especially
bosses.
considering he's taunting us by being on the
Literally
screen.
on the screen,
literally right
as we're
there
trying
the
to talk
whole
football.
time.
I was just waving randomly.
Be like,
on
that's
the
for
re-air.
us. Why don't you wear Seattle dope fashion
I get
icon
you get
stuff?
one Seattle outfit
dope
a week.
fashion.
You get
Heck
one
yeah, man.
Seattle fit a week. One Seattle week of fit. One
Is
Seattle.
that
What?
what-
I'm asleep still.
Is that what the lime green hoodie was?
Come on, man.
Okay.
It was
Do you get to
Sasquatch.
keep all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And they get
It's
it
not
for
part
you?
of wardrobe.
No, so some of it I buy, some of it I
okay.
get gifted by Seattle companies. You know, I rep my city. You know that.
Okay.
You know how many times have I wore a Kraken hat or a Sonic hat? Like I always wear it. I always do it. I just do it on national now
national,
instead
too.
Start doing that for-
of DallasCowboys.com.
I'm start doing that for.
I rep
Little
my
Elm.
city too. I wear North Texas mean green all day, baby.
Yeah,
That's right.
when we were doing hit
Getting the
sticks,
side eyes at the
Yeah.
training table.
hits every
Yeah,
time
it was
every
Seattle.
hit sticks episode we've shot in recent years, it was always a Seattle gear. I haven't changed. I don't change, dude.
You're gonna see me in a Little Elm Lobo fit next week.
Nice. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Go Lobos!
The Little Elm Lobos, baby. Who do they
Terrible.
got this week? They're playing like Frisco or something. All right.
Are they any good?
No.
right.
No, not this year. They'll be good again, but just not this year. When Leo and Michael Youmans are playing for them, they'll be badass.
Yeah.
That'll
there
be
you
right
go.
back
They'll be
into
right back to when I was playing
quarterback,
for 'em. You
wide
know what I'm saying?
receiver. Yeah,
Already
right back.
recruiting.
All right, Beamer,
Cold
it's
world.
time for some.
Wide 80. Wide 80. It's time for QB Vision with Isaiah Stanback.
Blocking play.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of QB Vision. Yeah, here on Talking Cowboys
Why do
on
you turn into
DallasCowboys.com.
Calculus. Why do you turn into a calculus professor?
Because you got
From, like, the
VKY
movies.
in the building.
The way he hit that note.
like the 90s movies calculus
Oh
professors.
man, hey man, playing the Eagles.
The Eagle is.
Playing the Eagles. There's somebody that's very familiar on that side over there who just calls and pulls all the strings for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I remember a couple years ago, he was a coach for the Denver Broncos. And there was a game where they had some success against the Dallas Cowboys. And following that game, this individual with the initials VF, what did he say, Kyle?
Said it was the blueprint. Saw the blueprint, had the answers to the test before they even took the test.
That's right, the blueprint game, not Blue Streak, where they're about to ruin a great game, a great movie by making a second one.
Facts.
It's ridiculous. But Vic Fangio is now the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he just has. You ever have those guys that just like they just don't like you? Like there's some people that just don't like you, right? You don't know why they don't like you. They just have a beef with you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Kyle outside of this outside of the studio.
I can't stand anybody, honestly.
Each one of us has like 2 or 3 of those.
I don't even look at comments, but I will.
Isaiah woke up this morning.
Oh, yeah.
No C has on a hat.
Kyle forgot to put in his product.
VKY.
Josh is too handsome.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
That's the one I saw at the top. That was pinned, actually.
You set him off with Columbus Day. Is what you did.
I did.
You set him off with Columbus Day.
Indigenous Peoples Day, my friend.
No, yeah.
You're going to see some random account with no name on it.
It's always
pinned comment
a bunch of numbers, random Avi.
We need to do that tomorrow.
Josh, is that you?
Let's just spend a segment reading YouTube comments.
Let's do it.
All the red hats in the comment section.
Oh, jeez.
You know who you are.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep, they're out there.
So the Dak haters.
Vic Fangio.
He did quit no C. I have a hamstring, and it never happened to me.
Vic Fangio had success against the Dallas Cowboys when he had half the talent that he has now.
Wait,
Half.
half?
Half. If
half
that.
of the talent?
That's fair.
Is anybody
No.
dispute that? Okay.
I do not
So,
dispute that
Two
at all.
different planets.
I just don't like it. Is the case?
Yeah, I hear you.
say fewer things like that.
Yeah, stop talking like that.
From what I have seen on film, I am unimpressed schematically, but very impressed in terms of productivity. Very simplistic defense. I mean, they're running this type of defense at Capel High School right now. Even though they're undefeated, so it must be working. But they're running. This is high school type stuff. Cover 2,
2 deep safeties.
cover 6 occasionally on third down situations. Cover 1 is not what they really want to do. That's not their thing. They don't do well with coverage in terms of man-to-man coverage. They'll play 3 occasionally. Usually when they're playing 3, it's usually a running situation because they want to get their safety, Blankenship. They want to get him into the pocket. they want to get him down there.
Like Dak's hamstring.
You like that? Yeah, I hope not. Oh,
sorry.
damn,
Too soon.
Sorry.
Negative comments on the podcast.
Way to go, bud.
How dare you?
It was at the end. Is that what it was? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so
Never go full James Jones.
Yeah, don't go James Jones on us. So they want to get Blankenship into the box. That's what they really want to do. They play 2 linebackers. So when you guys watch this defense, think back to Dan Quinn. That's probably the best comparison that I can make in regards to the scheme and schematics outside of the fact that they don't play a lot of man.
Did we talk about that when Dan was hired? Kind of how they did mirror each other specifically, even back then, and that was without the talent at hand.
Yes, very much so we did.
Yeah.
But they play 2 linebackers, okay? They play 4 down linemen. They usually have a stand-up end. Josh Sweat likes to really stand up at the defensive end position. He is number 19. These guys keep changing their numbers. Makes it very difficult to track. But he is
Tom Brady.
He's a good player. Call it what it is. He's a good player, man. Their defensive front is dangerous. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. They're nasty up front. They're freaking nasty up front. Not from the necessarily outside of Josh Sweat. They don't have a lot of great pass rushers on the edges, but that interior. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Get your Huggies, your Pampers,
couple dogs.
Yeah, I don't like the Bulldogs.
I know you
on
do,
there, man.
Couple dogs.
The Bulldogs are definitely in the interior.
Let's not pretend Cowboys didn't have a chance.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. There's numerous guys on this defense that the Cowboys had a shot.
Who are you referencing?
Jalen
Carter.
for one.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter.
And then the guy that stands behind him.
Jordan Davis.
Nolan. Yeah, Jalen and Jordan.
Yeah. And then
Dallas didn't have a shot to get those guys in the draft. They went way too high. What are you talking about?
Jalen Carter, we did not have a chance.
No, he was a 30 visit. They loved him.
You know who they did
Jordan
have
Davis,
a chance to get? You know who I'm still standing on business for?
Kobe Dean?
Yes.
Yeah, they did have a chance for that. That was an injury
Several
thing.
times.
That was an injury thing.
Oh, is it now?
It was.
Oh,
that's
tense.
why they didn't do it.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
am I saying that they were wrong in letting him pass? No.
I was very vocal about that. Go back in the history books.
Yeah, you were.
Yes. Really
had no shot at
wanted
Carter
Kobe
and
Dean.
Davis,
I
though.
really
They would've had
wanted
that
to trade
aspect, I mean,
up
my
to go
rece- yeah,
get.
my
Let's not
receipts say
get
to trade
distracted
up.
here, boys.
So that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
The
My
reality
receipts are to
is,
trade up.
regardless of if the Cowboys had a shot or not, these guys are all happen to just fall on the same team. Crazy. Interior defensive line, Jalen Carter, number 98, a complete
He is wide awake.
complete dude.
Black Rifle Coffee.
Complete 100% 6'3", 314-pound dude. Normally you have one dude on the defensive front, right? Nah. They
like
doubled down. They said, let's go get another guy by the name of Jordan Davis. Where does he go to school? Where did he go to school?
Yeah, man, let me tell you how Kirby recruits, baby.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Big boy out of Georgia.
Georgia.
6'6", 336 pounds of grown John Coffee. Okay, just
It's a green mile over
just
there, baby.
John Black Rifle Coffee.
John Black Rifle Coffee.
This segment is so off the rails.
Listen, putting the big boys up front, those two dudes, big Jordan Davis. Okay, I call him Big Baby Davis. I know he doesn't play basketball, but I call him Big Baby Davis, the big fella. He requires two guys.
Standard.
He's just too much John Coffee for one man. Right next to him.
He's the width of two guys.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense.
Absolutely. He makes other large men look small.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen like a large man, but oh, that's a big dude. Then a bigger dude walks up, you're like, I don't know what what title to put on that
It's
guy.
like a tyrant.
Absolutely. So Jalen Carter is big as well, but he's quick. So think about a bigger Osa Odigizua.
Yep.
Think about a bigger,
Way bigger
version of Osa Odigizua, but just as quick. Jalen Carter.
And that's
is
no
like
knock to Osa because that's a mountain of a dude.
Yeah. Osa's quick. Osa's
That's
nice.
his point.
That's my point. So you have those two big fellas in the middle, and they're a problem. And they are getting more QB pressures than you would ever imagine. They lost Reddick. Obviously, he went in trade, whatever, just got on the field for the Jets. So they don't have that.
Because he had like 17 pressures agast Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have those bookend defensive ends anymore, but you still have those two big fellas in the middle, and you have Josh Sweat standing up. Now, why is that a problem? It's a problem because these guys don't have to blitz.
No.
They don't have to blitz. They are getting pressure on the quarterback. When they do blitz, they usually bring one guy, right? And they're putting guys in the box. So even though they're playing two linebackers, I know what everybody's thinking. Oh, we could run the ball. You can't run the ball against these guys, man. These guys are top 5 in passing defense, top 5 in rushing defense. They don't allow. They've allowed 800 yards rushing this year. That's it.
That ain't good.
That ain't good. Not good, Bob. There's a guy behind them that roams sideline to sideline and loves contact. His name is Nicole B.
Yeah.
Dean. What school did he go to?
Georgia.
Crazy. One of the most physical linebackers that you guys will see. Imagine.
And his football IQ is very
smart.
high.
Imagine a little bit bigger version of DeMarvion Overshown. That's how I would compare him. Yeah. I wouldn't say as twitchy as Demo, but just as physical and bigger.
He was a top 15 draft prospect. He was on our draft magazine that year. And he dropped to the third round because of injury concerns.
Physical specimen.
He looks like a first rounder.
It's also academic All-American. If we're talking smart dude, IQ, acumen.
Yeah. And when he goes, right? There's space. You might have 3 or 4 yards between him, and then he just closes that gap immediately. The Blankenship cat is somebody that everybody needs to be concerned about. And he's an underrated safety, in my opinion, because of what he does. Imagine, I like making these comparisons because that's the only way people can really understand what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Donovan Wilson in Dan Quinn's system.
Okay.
Very impactful.
Yes.
Probably more so.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Probably more effective and more impactful Blankenship over Dono and Dan.
Just giving it to the people so they have something to compare it to.
I mean, Blankenship is a heat-seeking missile.
Absolutely he is.
That's what he is.
Absolutely is.
And he's been that the last couple of years, but he's gotten better and smarter in the way that he attacks.
Very much so. Very much so.
He's less reckless. The film that he's put out there this year, he's taken that reckless abandon that he played with previously, and he's bottled it up into just, like I said, he's he's not like an unguided missile anymore,
Correct.
where it's just shooting blanks and you're just going wherever you can.
More of a battleship than a blank.
Bang!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's an FPV. He's an FPV drone now. Okay, FPV access. Right. So defensively, schematically, again, not great. Okay, but talent-wise, they're off the charts. Okay, you got Darius Slay out there. He's all right to me. He's not.
Couple rookies in the secondary.
I'm not really convinced with their secondary, right? But they play downhill, meaning they play off. They let you get it in front of them, and they're going to come downhill. They want to hit you. There are gaps. The one weakness that I am seeing in their defense right now is they do not adjust well to motions and pre-snap shifts. They don't adjust well.
Good thing the Cowboys run a ton of that stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the game plan this week.
I was just thinking.
Sorry.
So there's two things that I'm hopeful for. I'm hopeful that Coach McCarthy's seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. Okay, and Brian Schottenheimer. I'm praying that they see that you can get some leverage and you can get to windows of opportunity within this zone defense by shifting and motioning your guys because they don't adjust well. They don't bump over enough. They don't adjust. If I move a guy across the formation, they stay in zone. They don't bump out enough. I can get outside of their linebackers, outside of their down safety, and run routes into the voids in the zone defense. That's something that I'm seeing on film. The other thing that I'm hopeful for is that Vic Fangio's his hate for the Dallas Cowboys is so high that all of a sudden he starts blitzing and creates voids that haven't been present on their defense. Those are the two things that I'm hopeful for. Because right now, their defensive line is more dominant than our offensive line. Right now, they have more talent on defense than we have on offense.
Yep.
And they are playing sound. They're not making a lot of mistakes.
And so Patrik alluded to this yesterday in that, like, he's hoping that one of our best chances is that Philadelphia is unfocused. They're like, oh, we got him. It's the Cowboys. That's overconfidence.
You just
is going to bury this team.
They're overlooking.
I talked to Philadelphia radio last night. I was on a hit with them in Philly.
Insurgent. Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some inside information here. One of the hosts on the show that I was on was saying that they are more locked in this week than they have been all year.
Oh, cool.
And that's saying something to they basically said, we don't care about the record. It's the Cowboys.
It's personal.
We've gone back and forth, and
Which is what you were
it's been
saying
personal.
yesterday.
So it kind of goes along with my thought process is like, yeah, it doesn't matter if the Cowboys are 3-5. They still have the star. They still have the attention, and Philadelphia wants to come and embarrass you.
Isn't there another coach there?
Kellen.
Oh, that guy.
On the
I'm sure
offensive
you guys
side.
talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, Kellen Moore.
Actually,
We really didn't talk about it.
Not at length.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have anything against the Cowboys.
A vendetta, if you will.
Yeah.
Cowboys already beat him last year when he was with the Chargers.
He was relieved of his duties.
Yes,
right?
he was.
After that, yeah.
Interesting.
Better
Twice.
offense.
Let's take
Saquon
our
is
second
going
break.
crazy.
When we come back,
Same
how
head
does
coach.
how does Cooper Rush combat what we just outlined
Yeah.
in terms of this defense? How
talk
does
about
Cooper Rush have success? How does Dallas have success going up against this Philadelphia defense? When we come back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions? For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company. This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback. We've got Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. All right, we just talked about the talent and the challenge at hand in terms of the Philadelphia defense. Josh, I'm going to start with you. What is one element? What is one element that Cooper Rush can bring to the table that allows them to be successful against Philadelphia this week?
I think we just addressed it. With motion, getting CD out in space, getting the. I liked how you opened the game against the Atlanta Falcons, where you're throwing quick, not screen passes, but short passes down the field, short completions, and just getting the ball forward. I think that's how you do it. You do it quickly. You don't let the pass rush have an advantage to get to you. You don't give them the opportunity, I think. I would love to see a big game from Rico in this one, and not just the rushing game, but in receiving as well. I would love to see Hunter Lipke for sure. And I think you can challenge these cornerbacks. I think you can challenge Cooper DeJean. I don't think he's always cracked up to me.
Nope, he's not. He's not. You can out leverage these guys. You can get these guys out on the edges. I think Cooper Rush is going to have more success than people believe. I truly do. He came into that game dropping dimes. He was anticipating. He was doing all the things.
No fear.
None, zero. He's cool, calm, and collected, man. As the other side of the pillow. Respect him. I have a high regard for his preparation.
Yep.
What he had to come in and do last week was not easy, and he should have had a pretty solid statistically solid game, but guys just did not take advantage of opportunities that were afforded to them.
And there was no hesitation on his part either.
He does not hesitate. He anticipates. And that's what I like about him. He trusts what he's supposed to be doing. He depends on you to do your job. And so I think that he'll have some success there. It's going to come down to this O-line. It's all going to come down to this O-line. Just time, man. And I'm not sure that time will be afforded.
And that leads me to what I'm about to say. So, first of all, like Isaiah said, Cooper Rush is more often than not far more successful than people would anticipate ahead of time, right? He's one of arguably the best backup quarterback in the league. I call him Cool Hand Luke. He never gets low, never gets high. It's just always even keel right there.
5-1, right?
Yeah, 5-1.
Yep.
He is accurate, most certainly.
Yeah.
Right. Problem is twofold for me. One, when he was helping to manage those games to wins in the absence of Dak Prescott when Dak had the calf injury, he was tethered to a defense that was playing at an elite level and took the ball away quite a bit. Is the defense doing either one of those two things right now?
No.
Not at all. He was also playing behind an offensive line that was at least solid.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about now?
No.
Okay, play Trey Lance. Play Trey Lance.
Whoa.
And it doesn't have to be a full unleashing of Trey Lance in the capacity of, because first of all, let me be clear. Mike McCarthy has already stated the rotation is Cooper Rush is going to start and Trey Lance is going to be QB2.
You're not saying start Trey Lance. You're saying
that's not what I'm saying.
Play him.
I'm saying play him. Okay. When I say unleash him, I mean unleash him even if it's just packages. You're going to need his mobility. For all the things that Isaiah said that were terrifying when it comes to the Jalen Carters, Jordan Davises, Nakobe Deans, and the
Reed Blankenship.
He didn't even mention Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat leads the
Standing
Eagles
up
in pressures coming off of the edge, leads the Eagles with 5 sacks coming off of the edge. My point being, all of these weapons are coming at an offensive line who hasn't been protecting well against the non-blitz. Right, just plain straight up, they've not been protecting well. So when Fangio does bring 1 or 2 guys every once in a while to mix it up, Cooper has some mobility. He's not a statue. He has some mobility, but I equate his mobility a little bit to Dak Prescott, whereas with Trey Lance, you have pure mobility and escapability. Now, what you're going to give up there is the accuracy. Okay, that's where you got to get creative here. And that's why I say, I'm not saying put Trey Lance as the starter, but I feel like there should be some type of package, several packages there for Trey Lance, read options, things like that. You have to keep that pass rush off balance, keep those linebackers off balance.
Yeah.
So the best way to help Cooper Rush succeed in a situation where his defense, the Cowboys defense, is not taking the ball away and the offensive line for the Cowboys is not protecting consistently, is to throw Trey Lance in there every once in a while to mix things up and keep Fangio off balance. That's how you help Cooper Rush succeed.
Question, though. Is there any? I love the idea. I love it. I would love to see that. However, is there anything about this offense that says, absolutely, let's throw some packages in there for Trey Lance in this game?
Thus far, no.
The one thing
I'm just telling, this is what I would like to see.
No, and I like.
I don't
anticipate
it happening at all. But I feel like it needs to happen.
Why
Plus,
not,
this offense needs.
What do you have to lose?
What do you have to lose? The offense needs an insurgent of like electricity and unpredictability.
The one thing that this offense says to me that allows for packages like that and allows for the usage of Trey Lance is what we just talked about with the offensive line. The offensive line's been so bad. If you do have any sliver of concern that you're not going to be able to run the ball, which I think is significant, you haven't been able to do that.
That has been the case
I've got
all
a
season.
concern there. And if you have a sliver of concern that Cooper Rush is not going to be able to navigate a dirty pocket, then use Trey Lance at times to help negate that. I'm okay with packages. I don't want to take the ball out of Cooper Rush's hands for complete drives at a time, for complete quarters or elements of the game.
Agreed.
In the red zone?
Because he's your accurate arm.
Absolutely.
And he has the stripes on the wall.
But a change up here and there, I mean,
especially in the red zone.
It just has to
how
happen.
many preseason games did Trey Lance play?
All three.
Three, right? We're how many games into the season right now?
8.
Eight games into the season. You know how many players have had as many rushing yards this season for the Dallas Cowboys in the 8 games this season? You know how many guys on this roster have as many rushing yards as Trey Lance did in the preseason?
Maybe one.
One guy. His name's Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Not great, Bob.
I know it's the preseason. I know it's different, and numbers don't necessarily carry the same weight.
But that's a quarterback we're talking about in the preseason.
That's a quarterback. We're not talking about a running back or a wide receiver that's utilized as Deebo Samuel or whatever. You're talking about a quarterback, and he had more rushing yards in those 3 preseason games than everyone else on your roster right now through 8 games in the regular season, except for Rico Dowdle.
You could absolutely use him. But then the other side of that is you need to evaluate him for 2025. You need to know, while you're sitting here paying him $5 million right now, you need to see exactly
greatest job on earth.
$5 million. You need to see what you have for him for 2025. So when I say mix in some packages like the read options and designed runs, I'm also saying give him an opportunity to come out of those sometimes and throw the ball downfield as well, right? Yeah. Because one thing
you can't just bring him in.
Right. One thing I've noticed about Cooper Rush, for as accurate as he is, $5 million. For as accurate as he is, he's more risk averse than Dak Prescott is as far as throwing the ball downfield.
Sure.
So Cooper will take his shots every once in a while, but as far as taking the top off consistently, getting in shootouts and things like that, that's not Cooper Rush's bag.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like in order for the Cowboys to have any kind of chance against the Eagles in these and the 3 games that follow, they're going to have to mix things up with a combination of Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. Is where I'm at with it. $5 million.
Divided by 17.
I was wondering why you. Yeah.
Warm this arm up. This is last year of his contract, right?
Yeah.
Last year of his contract.
Exactly.
I would agree wholeheartedly with you guys if this was before the trade deadline. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we talked about earlier in the week too. Mike McCarthy.
I don't like
just
that.
gave away a 4th. Here we go.
Mike McCarthy
have to do it.
Guys, we got to go.
I know,
we got to go.
That's
all right, goodbye. For Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Isaiah Stanback, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans. We'll see you tomorrow with more Talkin Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!